Hey, this is Nettie with Rocket Powered Sound. In this video, I'm going to be guiding you through how to make a modern sounding dubstep drop in 2024 by making a drop from scratch. So this is what we're going to be making in today's video. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just lay out a drum loop. So we're going to be going over to the Pro Dubstep suite here and just going to the infected drum kit, dubstep kicks. I like this one. We're just going to lay out a simple pattern in 140 BPM. I'm going to get a dubstep snare. I like this one. We'll go with a more basic one. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make like I'm going to take a bunch of samples and arrange them. And then afterwards, we're going to process them. So what that's going to result in is like, first we're going to start off with just raw audio samples and like raw presets and stuff like that. So like we're not putting our own touch on it yet, but afterwards we're going to start tweaking stuff to make it like really our own. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to get some crashes. I kind of like the crystal one here. So let's just do that. Let's do maybe like this kind of drum pattern. So the main thing I want to focus on is kind of arrangement. So in my opinion, you can make a fantastic song even if you like have no idea how to do sound design. So like this is what samples are great for, because what you can do is you can just drop samples in. You can like kind of arrange a song and then you can start processing stuff. So like you can make a great sounding song like without knowing any sound design, and like that's like I do this all the time. I'll like lay out like a pattern using samples, and then afterwards I'll start like processing it. So what I'm doing now is I'm just laying out the sidechain. So I have like this like rack setup, or it's not a rack. Well, it is a drum rack. So what I have right here is I have these two pieces of white noise. So I have one on the kick and the snare. There really only needs to be one. I'm only using one. I'm just going to delete this for clarity's sake. So basically I have this really loud piece of white noise. So I'm going to turn this down so it doesn't hurt your ears. But this is what this is, right? So it's just a really short piece of white noise. I have it muted so that it doesn't play, right? So you're not hearing it right now, right? And then what I have, what I do is I have like groups. So I have like drop, intro, midsection, and if I double click these, you'll see I have two compressors, and these run. They take audio from that like little white noise blip. So audio from sidechain, sidechain, and you'll see when I play this back, you'll see it like duck to the pattern that we have right here, right? So every time there's a little MIDI note, you'll see it ducks down like that. And so that's what I use the sidechain for anyone who's curious. So this is basically just going to allow us to like make sure that our like the volume of like the basses duck whenever we place a kick or snare down, which sounds better than not doing that. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take some samples, maybe some presets, and we're just going to like do some stuff, right? We're going to just like try to arrange something, and we're going to see what we end up with. So let's just start with like a bass shot. We have some like lasers here. I kind of like this one. We're gonna just plop it in. We have some tear up basses. I kind of like this first one here. So we're gonna take that one, drop it in. Let's see what we got for yoinks. We might not use all of this, but we're just gonna see. I like this bark one. Okay, so great. We have three basses now. So this is in D, as you can see by the little label here. We have D or a C sharp, and then we have another D. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna raise this one by one semitone so that they're all in the same on the same note. So this one is now on D, this one is now on D, and this one is on D. So the sub bass is not gonna like be like weird and like out of like key all the time. So now we just have these three basses. This is what we have so far. Doesn't sound great, right? I'm gonna be honest, right? But that's okay. So let's just like go into Serum and just like get a preset RPS Pro Dubstep Suite. Let's just get like a bass. We'll see what we get. So we're gonna play a D. This one's pretty cool. I'm not even gonna tweak like, so you have all these macros here that help you like kind of tweak a sound, but I'm not even gonna bother with that right now. Just trying to find one that I think sounds kind of cool. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. We got some like cool macro stuff going on. This is like totally not even like, I'm not putting any processing on this. It's just like raw audio output. And then we're gonna go ahead and just lay out a quarter note pattern for the time being. So we have these like 4 sounds, right? We're not gonna use all these probably, but we have something, right? So we have a drum loop. I wanna kind of shorten these up a little bit, these crashes, because I think they're a little bit long, so I'm just gonna fade them out like this. That sounds a bit better. Oh, I kind of, you know what? I kind of like this as like a top layer, just like a kind of like consistent yoink that goes over the top of the whole thing. Right? Maybe you see the vision. Now, the one thing about this is there is a sub attached to this, as you can see here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off. So if we look at like an EQ now, like there's not really too much going on here, so it's not going to clash with like the subs that we have right here, which is what we want. So let's just start arranging this stuff. So I think arrangement is the single most important thing to like any kind of style of like dubstep that you want. So the thing about 2024 dubstep is like a lot of it tends to be kind of offbeat. So we're gonna do that. So like you often won't find like a very like if I take this bass for example and I just like do like eighth notes like this. I think that sounds pretty okay, but like what tends to happen is like what producers will do nowadays is they'll take these basses, right, and like they would just like move it over. So like what I'm doing right now is I'm taking all these, dragging them, and then holding Alt so that it goes off grid, and I'm just gonna drag it by like a very small amount. So this is like a 30-second note almost. So if we listen to this now, it's gonna have a lot more like swing to it. So listen to this. Right, so you kind of hear that compared to this. You can kind of hear the difference side by side here. I'll even exaggerate the sound a bit by just like dragging it like a whole 16th note across, and then you'll kind of hear it a bit better. This will probably sound pretty cool too. A bit much, but like you kind of get the idea, right? Let's just start making a pattern. Let's take this bass maybe. Maybe we could do like quarter notes with this, so we just do like blah 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 like this, and we'll delay this to 16th note because this is a kind of shorter sound. So like the further you delay it, like the sidechain kind of eats up like a certain amount of time on like relative to like the sidechain, right? So we're gonna kind of do that and then just like loop that over and over again. I think I did that wrong. We're gonna do like this. That sounds pretty cool. And then let's see, what is this? Yeah, maybe we can do this. So we'll take this bark dubstep sound, this bark dubstep bass, and we'll go ahead and like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like take this and shorten it up, because right now, so if I do this, right, what I'm planning on doing is I want to put this in eighth notes, kind of like we did with this sound up here, but I'm going to collapse that so that it's not confusing. If I take this and just like offset it the same amount and then like play it back, it's probably going to sound a bit overwhelming. But, like that's a bit much, so like I don't want to do that exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to like click warp so that like we can adjust the BPM, and then I'm just going to shorten it like that. And then let's just kind of arrange this like this. Just put it in eighth notes, and again we're offsetting it a bit. I don't know if I think I did it wrong again, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and adjust that, and then let's do like this. We're not going to worry about like the sub bass for now, because yeah, we'll do that later. Okay, so we have this right now. That's sounding pretty cool because we have like two kind of things, right? We have this like main layer and this kind of like faster like quarter note thing. It's creating kind of a cool like pattern. And then we have this like thing on top as well. Okay, so let's start like getting somewhere, right? Because we have like samples arranged now, but I want a sub bass and I want this to hit harder. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get we probably have some sub presets as well. So I'm just gonna go in Serum, RPS, Pro Dubstep Suite and get a sub. Sub, there we go. Okay, bins, what is this? Perfect, that sounds pretty good. Let's just take this one. Crank it up a bit so that it's like not clipping, because like we can turn it up really high and then you can see it's kind of clipping a bit. We want to just be like right below. Like that's pretty good. And then we're just gonna probably follow the eighth note rhythm. So like we have the ba 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 ba, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just lay out like a sub that does that same pattern in D, like this. So if I play this back, it is in. If you're on phone speakers, you might not hear this, but you can hear it there. And we're gonna delay this. Now, one thing that I'm going to tell you right now as a cool little trick. So we're you know, the whole time we've been kind of like zooming in and going like, okay, like let's just like delay this like a small amount, and then like that'll like kind of add groove. We're gonna do it an easier way. So if you're on Ableton, this is how you can add like groove kind of way more simply. If you're on like FL or Logic, I don't know how you do this exactly. You might have to just do it the manual way, which we've been doing so far. But what you can do in Ableton is like if you're just like gonna delay like a certain sound the whole time anyway, what you can do is just like keep it on beat. So we're gonna just take the tear out gun, take the eighth note yoink, and we're just gonna put it on beat. So like everything is on beat right now. So if we play a metronome, you can hear that's like pretty on beat. What we're gonna do, so I'm gonna select all these. So I'm gonna click Shift and then click the bottom one, and then Control G to group. And then we have a group where we have like all three sounds. And what you can do is if you go down here to the bottom right, you'll see all these like these four things, and then down here you have the D. So you click on D, and then you go to your group that you just made, and you can type in like how much you want this to be delayed by. So like a good amount is maybe, let's say like 45 milliseconds. So that sounds sick, right? We just delayed it a bit. So like you can click on this little like blue arrow to like reset it, for example. Before, after. Super sick. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make another group. So this is becoming a mess. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group these two together. These two basses, I'll like color it so that you can see it easier. So these are the tarot gun and the eighth note yoinks. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get an EQ. So this is the first bit of sound design we're doing, right? Because I think we have like a pretty cool rhythm going on, and we're just gonna kind of build off of it. So this is nothing crazy, right? All we're doing is just taking out the sub so that it doesn't clip with this sub that we're adding in now. So we're just gonna EQ it right about there, right at 167 hertz. So right now we don't have a sub compared to this, when we have like a little bit of sub left over, and then we just have this sub underneath. So if we play this now, this is what we got. Cool. We have like a basic arrangement, right? We have done minimal sound design. All we've really done is arrangement. We added one EQ, but like, you know, other than that, we've basically just added samples and then like arranged them, right? Let's make this arrangement like a little bit more interesting, and then we're gonna start doing like sound designs and make all this stuff our own. First thing, I want like something to kind of break it up, right? So because when you play this back right now, it's just like 4 bars of just straight like eighth notes. So if I play this back, it's gonna get pretty exhausting to listen to very quickly. So I'm just gonna do this for the sake of demonstration. This is what we have right now. So like in my opinion, it needs something either here or like just a small break here, or like a big break right here. So like you can kind of get away with doing either one. I'm gonna do like a small break here because I like more frequent like breakups, like kind of within like you know, the song. So I'm just gonna go like a hit delete right here, and then just like cut that out right there. So we have this. Maybe like a sustain right there would be cool. So we have like the ba 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 yeah, or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new MIDI track. I'm gonna get a new serum. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take like this MIDI that we have up here, like it's just conveniently on the key that we want, which is D. We're a D minor. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a new MIDI track, copy this little MIDI thing down here. So we already have a note, then go to serum. And I'm just gonna look through some presets. So we just have like something on D, just a solid wave right now. Let's go to the Pro Dubstep Suite and just get like a bass, like, let's see. That was pretty cool. Let's see if we can kind of like make this longer. That's pretty cool. I like it. And then like right here, I want to add another break so that we have like a more to keep it interesting. So let's go to like the sample pack, get like a, I think there's growls in here. So let's see, we have the modern growls mini pack. I think I like this one. Yeah, and then maybe we can pitch that a bit so that it becomes like kind of longer, so that it like fills up the whole space. So we got like, that's pretty cool. Maybe even lower, like. Okay, so there's two things I'm noticing right now, which is these two fills that we just added like don't quite fit in, and so this is where sound design becomes important to like know. So obviously, sure, you can like add samples, but like you do need to like bring them together, right? So this is what I'm going to kind of show you like how I do it. So let's get into that. So I think this sounds pretty good as is. We can kind of tweak that in a minute, but like for right now, what I want to do is I want to just like take these two fills and like make them actually like fit into the rest. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and like match it to this. So two observations to be made here. So first off, this sound is very like noisy, so like very white noisy. So if I get like a piece of white noise, like this, like it has no tone, right? It's kind of similar to this. Like this doesn't really have a pitch. Like neither of these sounds that we have much of a pitch, and so when you compare that to this has very much of a pitch, right? You have all these little tones that are playing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of try to steer this more like a little bit closer to like that like noisy kind of like territory. Not like making it totally noisy, but like a little bit. Like we're going to kind of try to do something with that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an amp, and so this is going to distort the crap out of it. And the one cool thing about like the Ableton amp is if you put the gain at exactly 5 like gain, it kind of distorts the sub in a cool way, which I really like. And if you kind of like stray like slightly from it, then it like changes the tone a little bit. I like that. So we kind of have crunched it together a bit. Let's listen to this now in context. That already is sounding a lot better. Just because like we crunched it together a bit, like this is like a pretty aggressive sound. So we want to make sure that this is also relatively aggressive. Now, the other observation that I'm noticing is it is completely mono. So if I take a utility and I make this mono, nothing's changing, right? You see I'm changing the width to 0, like it's changing absolutely nothing, right? Like the stereo field isn't changing. So we have to stereo-rize it. We have to make it stereo. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it stereo. So one cool little trick that I like to use nowadays is to use a Haas effect, which is essentially taking like if you have like different left and right channels, like that is what creates stereo. So if I can demonstrate this real quick, if I take a sine wave, actually that's not a great idea. I'm gonna take a percussion sound. This is great. And then if I take this and I duplicate it, and then I pan one of them right and one of them all the way left, like it doesn't change from the original sound, right? So it's the same. But if I now take this and I like delay one like ever so slightly, ooh, now it's stereo, right? See that? Like, and it could even be like an absolutely minuscule amount. Like, look how like small of a difference this is. It's still stereo compared to this, right? So this is what the Haas effect is you're taking one channel and delaying it like comparatively to the other. So let me delete these channels. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take a Ableton delay. I'm just gonna take a ping pong delay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make turn up the dry wet to 100%, turn off ping pong, turn the feedback all the way down, turn off any filtering, and then what we're gonna see is it's gonna be delayed by exactly a quarter note because we have it on the quarter note mode. So, right, but like the sound is unchanged. It's just delayed. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on the time mode, turn it all the way down, and then I'm gonna unlink it, And then I'm gonna just change the right signal to like something. Doesn't matter, now it's stereo, which is super cool. And now I'm gonna actually filter it out. So I'm gonna, turn the filter back on. And then I'm gonna turn the dry wet to like 50% so that way the bass isn't being stereo, because like that doesn't sound the best in my opinion. And just adjust that a little bit, it's kind of messy. I'm gonna add a mid-side low cut, which essentially like makes the like anything that you /cut out, it makes it mono. So like the way you do that is you take an EQ, and if you just have a normal EQ like this, you can go into M/S like this, and then click on the edit mode, and then you can like start like taking out like stuff that is like stereo. So I just have like a little shortcut for that. I'm just gonna reduce the stereo just a little bit, but this is now stereo. So if I do like a little before, that's before, this is after. It's a little bit better. Maybe even a bit more. Wouldn't even be a bad idea. Okay, so let's hear this in context now. That is better. That is absolutely better. I'm gonna make one more adjustment, which is I'm gonna make the mids louder so that it fits in with this. Because if you kind of like just a bit off of ear, I can kind of tell that this is like it feels quieter than the rest. So I'm just gonna take an EQ and I'm gonna just get a shelf like this, and I'm just gonna like increase everything except the sub in loudness, so it sounds like that. Yeah, cool. And then lastly, I want to just make like a little bit of like tonal changes because I'm getting a bit tired of the sound. Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. And then I want to just add like another mid-side low cut afterwards because I think the amp is like changing the stereo just a little bit. So that just cleans it up a bit. So great, now we have this. That sounds pretty cool. So let's do the same thing for this other bass right here. So it's just kind of meh, you know what I mean? So like I wanna just do like maybe a bit of stylistic changes, maybe a little bit of arrangement stuff because I think it's a little bit lengthy. Maybe we can pitch it back up because I don't really like how like it kind of gets into it kind of slow. Maybe we can do like a like we could kind of stutter it a bit like this. You can, oh, that's kind of cool, right? Maybe even like earlier. That's cool. I'm also gonna turn this this top layer off for the time being. Yeah, that sounds cool. And so let's just like make this fit in. I think it already fits in pretty well. But one thing I want to do is like just like bump up the sub volume a little bit. You can, like, I'm just gonna do this. And then I'm gonna automate the scale because at the beginning we have a bit of sub and then like it kind of doesn't exist later. And that way we have like sub again. Okay, fantastic. We have a sort of drop, right? Well, this sounds great, right? We have a drop. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start making stylistic changes. So like so far all we've done is made like kind of mixing changes to make everything fit together. Now let's just start like changing the actual like sounds to make it our own. So let's take this for example. So one thing I like to do for these like high or these kind of noisy sounds is I like to take a frequency shifter and just like shift it up. So like since there's no like pitch, you can kind of just get away with this. Or maybe make it a bit louder. Yeah, so that sounded cool. And then let's also change this a little bit. I want to make this feel a bit more like roomy almost. So one thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a frequency split rack. So this is all this is like if you take here, I'm just going to make it from scratch. So it's for clarity's sake. I'm just going to take an EQ, Control G to make an audio effect rack. And then we have this like EQ and like one chain. I'm gonna duplicate this chain. So we have like 2 of these EQs that are identical. I'm gonna change this to a low pass like this. So we have like these 2, right? And so we have like highs here and then like lows here. So I can change I can switch between the lows. So if I play that, we just have the low end, and if I play this, we have just the high end and no sub. Great. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna frequency shift this. That sounds pretty cool. I like that. Just add another low cut after this, and so like we're processing the high end without affecting the low end at all, which is what we want. I'm just gonna turn this up a bit, the sub. Maybe turn down the high end just a little bit. So now we have this. Cool. And maybe just like a little bit, like even more amp. Yeah, and then like just like do this again. Take out a bit of mud. That sounds pretty good. Maybe add like just a smidge of high end, and then I'll call it a day on this sound. And also, maybe we should delay this a bit. Just to make it fit in with the groove. So 45 milliseconds is what we delayed the group by. Yeah, that's great. Okay, great. And then lastly, I want to just like amp this because I like distortion. And I'll just add a OTT. And turn up the time a bit. And add just a bit of high end as well. Okay, there we go. And then let's just like see if we can make this work. It's fine if not. Let's see if we have some other presets. Kind of like the gaming one. Yeah, let's get the gaming one. This one. I kind of want to remove the arpeggio, or the LFO volume. So we're just gonna like do this. Remove the sub. Ooh, yeah, listen to that. We'll cut it out right here for this last fill. And here. Yeah, listen to that, and let's delay that by 45 milliseconds. Boom, there we go. And like, let's just do like, just for fun, just frequency shift this up to kind of make it our own. Just change the tonality a bit. Maybe a ring mod. Beautiful. And that's kind of how you make a drop in 2024. So it's just a lot of like, you know, like I love working with samples. So like this is just like a really fast way to put these kind of drops together. If you guys want to get access to the specific samples and presets that I use in this video, then check out the Pro Dubstep Suite link in the description. I hope you found this video educational, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye bye.